Throughout this last year or so, we've started to notice a market shift within the video game industry where many games that were just outright pushing identity politics have been starting to fail. It got to the point where many studios are taking note of this and deciding to maybe we should steer away from this sort of thing. Some companies have been getting away from it. Other ones who still believe in that cause are trying to do it, but maybe just go so far as to rebrand their DEI departments in the hopes that maybe gamers won't notice it so they can kind of shoehorn that stuff in under the radar. But then there's other studios that are trying to do the exact opposite. In fact, they're actually just leaning into it, or at least that's what we're getting over at Obsidian Entertainment, where one of the directors for the upcoming RPG game Avowed made some pretty, I would say, brazen remarks on social media attacking gamers, particularly white males. Avowed art director Matt Hansen wants to remove the too many crusty white dudes in the video game industry. Matt Hansen, the art director for Xbox and Obsidian Entertainment's upcoming first-person fantasy RPG Avowed, shared he wanted to remove too many crusty white dudes in the video game industry. So imagine if someone said this on the other way, where they were saying, we want to remove black people from the video game industry. Most people would rightfully call that racist because it is overtly racist, but apparently this guy is a self-hating white person, and that's not me being hyperbolic either. He goes so far as to even say that he should be removed from the video game industry first, but he's not stepping aside. Maybe this is his resignation because he expects his game to do terrible and then he's going to get fired. And now he's just going to try to virtue signal with the fact that he's going to fail. In a screenshot shared to X from his now deleted X account, and he deleted his X account because, you know, all the unhinged people are deleting their X accounts and go in the blue sky. That's where a lot of these posts are being shared from, his blue sky posts. What do they call them? Skeets. Hansen wrote, reminder to black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open and you will always have my priority. Now, putting aside the fact that this is actually illegal to do in the US, I believe this is a US studio. Oh yeah, he's based out of the US. So yeah, this is actually illegal to discriminate against people based on race. But also, if you just listen to what he's saying here, he's basically implying that black people couldn't get work unless they're given a handout like this, which to me is also pretty disparaging, not only to white people that he's being overtly hateful against, but also to black people, which he's kind of taken the approach that they're just so inferior that they need him as a white man to help prop them up. Otherwise, they can never succeed on their own. He added, we got too many crusty white dudes in this field. Please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. Well, I mean, if he keeps this up, that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. And thank God for that. Hansen's comments were discovered after he admitted that he wanted to make Elon Musk mad with Avowed. And that's because Elon Musk is against a lot of this woke stuff being pushed inside of entertainment. So he's trying to basically say, like, well, we're going to make it our priority to push this stuff just to upset you, as if he would really care. If anything, he'll probably just point and laugh or call it out like the rest of us are doing if he does anything at all. I mean, this is just kind of a notice me senpai mentality, or at least that's kind of the vibes I'm getting from it. He reacted to Musk, who declared that having pronouns in a fantasy game is utterly acceptable on Blue Sky. Hansen wrote, sickos.jp, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default. You said, I think he means sad little ish. Okay, so sounds like a pleasant guy right there. Hansen previously took issue with Elon Musk when he declared that it should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist and sexist against white dudes. Yes, I would even just go so far as say you shouldn't be racist and sexist against anyone. Yes, even including white guys. But apparently this Matt Hansen doesn't agree with that, which is a pretty bold thing to say, saying like, no, we should be racist and sexist against white guys. Musk's comments were in response to global head of marketing for Xbox, Kelly Lombardi, posting, raise your hands if you're not a white man and you buy video games. She added, no hate to white dudes. It's just another day in the gaming industry that minorities have to fight to prove they exist. Minorities never had to fight to prove they exist within the gaming industry. Pretty much it was acceptable to anyone in the past to play video games, but for some reason they think nowadays, or at least a lot of these crazy people out there think that they need to push aside a sizable demographic in order to try to pander to another one. And if you just go back to making games how they used to make games, then everyone was happy, but that's not really what they've been doing in the last several years. it's been going bad for them. And like I said at the start of this video, we're starting to see a shift because a lot of these studios are understanding that no, trying to demonize a large part of our audience isn't necessarily the best way to go if we want to actually sell games. Hansen reacted to Musk's post on Blue Sky, writing, "Oh, Elon, you sweet summer child. This will only embolden me, you sad sack of fish." Okay, so that's what he's saying. Like when Elon Musk is saying, don't be racist and sexist against white guys, he's like, well, I'm going to be more racist and sexist than you even want me to. Hansen is living proof that the people making entertainment in AAA and Hollywood have contempt for the audience and hostility towards white people and men. As former Amazon and Disney executive Roy Price recently pointed out in an article posted to a Substack titled "Woke is the New Disco," Price shared that a deep problem within Hollywood is contempt for the audience. He explained wokeness, both in politics and entertainment, carries within it strong and explicit elements of hostility, particularly towards white people and men. While this approach initially gained compliance through social pressure and corporate acquiescence, a few years ago, such accommodations were, of course, temporarily among the people, and in courtrooms by 2024, wokeness has become toxic to a large part of the audience. It is an embarrassing, widely resented relic of the past, and the people need to see that acknowledged by candidates. They, especially men, need to see wokeness disavowed, he declared. It's abundantly clear that this hateful attitude is not exclusive to Hollywood, but is in the video game industry as well. And I do believe this type of mentality is on its way out, because just the fact of the matter is companies that are pushing this sort of thing have not been successful, and that's why many of them fail, and the people that work at these companies are in turn losing their jobs, and a lot of other companies that haven't gone down this route that are still profitable are going to stop hiring people like this because they see like, well, these people are basically just openly hostile towards our audience. And even if they are competent at their jobs, which I'm not even saying that they are, it's probably not good for them as a company to hire on people like this, because what they actually bring to the table is probably not worth all the hassle that they're going to cause for them as a company. And one thing I noticed since this information started to come out, I went over to Steam over on the page for Avowed, and you can see just lots of comments here, brand new ones. Culture war crap, Obsidian is dead, and that's a good thing. Since when did Obsidian start adding LGBTQ plus onto that's a couple minutes ago. Matt Hansen, art director, admitted racism and hatred. Matt Hansen ruined this game. Thank you, Matt Hansen, for saving me 70 euros. Game developers just admitted they made it woke. If I was a CEO, says they'll get rid of them. So it's just flooded with all these comments that are pretty recently since a lot of these remarks came out. So before this game even got off the ground, it already has a lot of bad publicity surrounding it, just because of one person working at the company decided to go on an unhinged rant on social media, basically attacking the biggest portion of their target audience. So maybe they don't think of white people as their target audience, or they don't think of white guys as their target audience. If you really want to cater to what you admit to be the minority of the audience, well, then maybe that's not the best way to go. And I'm not even saying that just pandering to various groups is the best way to go, because there's a lot of people within those communities, a lot of black gamers, female gamers, who are also turned off by the fact that a studio like this is going to prioritize pushing politics as opposed to trying to make a good game that everyone can enjoy. And I think what we're going to see when it comes to something like this is we're going to see another failure, because a lot of studios have been pushing stuff like this have been failing, even at a greater rate than I thought was going to happen, because we've seen that with Ubisoft this last year, where some games like Star Wars Outlaws, for instance, I thought that was probably not necessarily going to be great, but I thought it was going to be better received than what it is, because it's still an Ubisoft game and it was still a Star Wars title. I thought there was going to be some, sales as a result of just name recognition alone, since it was a part of a big franchise, but that's not the case. So when you get something like Avowed like this, I'm expecting this one to probably be another huge failure, and you can probably lay it at the feet, not necessarily to just Matt Hansen here, but I think he is a contributing factor, and people like him within the video game sphere are a contributing factor to why many of these games fail. And I think a lot of the heads at these studios, the ones who aren't necessarily true believers in this cause, I think they're going to understand they need to stop hiring people like this, and they need to get rid of people like this. Unfortunately, though, they're so seeped within the video game industry that it's going to take a while before they clean house, but we've already noticed a pendulum shift. So we've reached basically peak wokeness when it comes to entertainment. And I think even though it's going to take some time, we're basically going to see the pendulum swinging back the other way and things are just going to get better from here on out. But maybe I'm wrong on this one. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Do you think things in the gaming industry are going to improve, or do you think we still haven't reached the worst of it yet? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest in entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share the video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.